Hello everyone. Today in this module I am going to talk about ecosystem and human well-being. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of their environment. These abiotic and biotic components of the environment are interlinked with each other through nutrient cycles and energy flow. The state of being healthy and pleasureful in terms of physical, emotional and psychological behavior is referred to as well-being. In this module, we will be talking about how the ecosystem and the human well-being go hand in hand and complement each other. The learning objectives of this module will be the concept of ecosystem and human well-being, components of human well-being, ecosystem services, influence of ecosystem services, and a balanced use of ecosystem. Concepts of ecosystem services and human well-being. Ecosystems provide a range of services that are of fundamental significance to human survival. Human well-being is dealt with the basic materials for a good life, health, good social relations, security, and freedom of choice and action. Humans do not wish to live with nature but always live beyond the nature by altering it. Since the early civilization where the human migrated, they always exploited, degraded, and modified the ecosystems due to their self-centric behavior. Now, majority of ecosystems on the earth are persisting either at middle state of degradation or at last stage of degradation, which are quite alarming, and the sustainable use of ecosystem is essential to meet the demand for future generation. The concept of ecosystem services first appeared during 1980s in the United States as economical and ecological response to degradation of ecosystem. The name ecosystem services was first time used in 1981 by Chaudhary in 2015. In scientific literature, environmental services or ecological services are being used for the same meaning of the ecosystem services. Notwithstanding, the term ecosystem services is widely used in extremely concise way. Ecosystem services are defined as the benefits people obtain from the ecosystem. Ecosystem services may be categorized under provisioning, regulating, cultural and supporting services. Components of human well-being. According to Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, the human well-being is characterized under number 1, basic material for good life, which includes adequate amount of food available for all times, clothes, shelter and security of livelihood. Second, health, access of clean water, air, culture and physical healthy environment. Third, good social relations, that is social unity, mutual respect and ability to help each other. Fourth, security, that is personal safety, security from natural or anthropogenic disasters, security from exploitation of natural and other resources. And fifth, freedom of choice and action, that is the availability of individuals to control what happened to them and to be able to achieve what they value doing or being. Freedom and choice cannot exist without the presence of other elements of well-being. Therefore, there is an indirect influence of changes in all categories of ecosystem services on the realization of the basis of well-being. The influence of ecosystem change on freedom and choice is heavily mediated by socio-economic circumstances. The wealthy and people living in countries with competent governments and good civil society can maintain freedom and choice even in the face of significant ecosystem change, while this would be unfeasible for the poor if the ecosystem change resulted in a loss of livelihood. Well-being also depends on the supply and quality of human services, technology, and institutional capability. Ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are the conditions and processes through which natural ecosystems and the species that make them up sustain and fulfill human life. They maintain biodiversity and the production of ecosystem goods such as forage and fodder from grasslands, fish and other seafood from oceans, biomass as fuel wood and timber from forest, and many pharmaceuticals, industrial products and their precursors. Ecosystem services such as provision for clean air and water, carbon sequestration, soil fertility, generation and nutrient cycling, pollination of plants, recreation, water assimilation, biological control of pests and diseases, climate control and provision of genetic resources represent the benefits human population derive directly or indirectly from ecosystem functions. Both biotic, that is light, temperature, oxygen and water etc., and abiotic, that is the living organisms, factors cumulatively make a system in which all entities of life including human can survive and do well. All organisms essentially need clean air, water, land and food for their survival and growth. For operational purposes, it is easy to classify ecosystem services along functional lines within the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment using provisioning, regulating, cultural and supporting services groups which are indicated in the slide. However, some of the categories may overlap. In this slide, we will see 4 groups of ecosystem services and their subcategories. Provisioning services. These are the services obtained from ecosystems in form of material or energy output. The major provisioning services are food, fiber, fuel and raw materials, fresh water, genetic resources, biochemical, natural medicines and pharmaceuticals, and the ornamental resources. The regulating services include air quality maintenance, climate regulation, water regulation, water purification, waste treatment and pollution control, erosion control. Next is regulation of human diseases, the biological control and the pollination. Among the cultural services, these are non-material benefits people derive from ecosystems through spiritual enrichment, recreation and psychological benefits. These services are tightly linked to human values and performance as well as to human institutions and patterns of social, economic and political organization. Perceptions of cultural services may differ among individuals and communities because human cultures co-evolved with their environment. The cultural services included spiritual and religious values, knowledge systems and educational values, and aesthetic values. They also include inspiration, social relations, and sense of place. Cultural heritage values, recreation and ecotourism are also part of the cultural services. Supporting services. Supporting services are the services necessary for the functioning of essential life support systems. They differ from provisioning, regulating and cultural services because their impacts on people are either indirect or happen over a very long time. These services include: first is soil formation. Soil is a backbone of life support systems because majority of provisioning services are dependent on soil fertility, the soil formation influencing human well-being. It is formed through the weathering of rocks and progressively becomes fertile through the accumulation of plants and animal organic materials and the release of minerals. Soil formation is a very slow process. Top 1 centimeter natural soils are generated in 100 to 400 years from bedrocks. It has been estimated that global formation of 1 centimeter thick soil takes around 176 years. Soil formation is directly related to the maintenance of natural ecosystems. The second one is photosynthesis. It is a natural and vital process performed by plants only. The capturing and assimilation of sun energy by autotrophs is major support for human well-being. Without support of photosynthesis, healthy human life can't be imagined. Photosynthesis not only provide the nutrients for human survival but also sequester the atmospheric carbon dioxide, which is a potent gas responsible for global warming. Next is the nutrient cycling. Approximately all the nutrients essential for life, together with nitrogen and phosphorus, cycles via ecosystems and are balanced at diverse concentrations in various ecosystem components, provided that humans do not exert tremendous pressure on a particular component of an ecosystem. Weak nutrient cycling is negatively related with human well-being. Hence, a vital cycling of nutrients is essential for smooth functioning of ecosystem as well for healthy life. Influence of ecosystem services on human well-being. This slide would be explaining the 4 groups of ecosystem services and their subcategories. We will be talking about the provisioning services in more detail. Among the provisioning services, food, fiber, fuel and raw materials. This includes the vast range of food products derived from plants, animals and microbes, and materials, for example, wood, jute, hemp, silk, wood, dung and many other products derived from ecosystems. Gum, resin, tannin, dyestuff, paper and pulp, tendu leaves and charcoal. In India, mean annual raw material production is 1.31 million tons and compound growth rate is 7.10% per year. Next is the fresh water. In the fresh water, people get fresh water for drinking, use of river water as source of renewable energy. Significantly managed natural forests provide good water quality with less sediments and pollutants. Next is genetic resources. Many of the plants, animals and microbes are used in biotechnological and plant breeding programs for crop improvement, health care and waste degradation. Next is biochemical, natural medicines and pharmaceuticals. In this, large number of natural products are used as medicinal and pharmaceutical values like vitamins, chemicals, drugs and pharmaceuticals. About 80% of the population in developing countries depend on traditional medicines that is largely derived from herbal plants. Almost 50% of the modern pharmaceuticals are either directly derived from the natural compounds or based on them. A study at the Herb Research Foundation, Boulder, suggested that 1 out of every 125 plant species examined yielded a major drug having value in the US of at least $200 million per year. In US, generally 74% drugs are based on plants, 18% fungi, 5% bacteria and 3% on vertebrates. Next is the ornamental resources. Varieties of products like shells, rocks, eggs, pearls, corals and sandstone jewelry obtained from the nature that can be used as ornamental purposes. Several plants and animals are ornamentals. Most of the members of family Orchidaceae and Liliaceae are cultivated for ornamental purposes. This slide will be talking about the regulatory services which are important as part of ecosystem. These are the benefits derived from regulation of ecosystem processes. Following are the few examples of regulatory services. First is the air quality maintenance. Plants are essential for control of air quality by removing toxic chemicals from the air. Ficus religiosa, that is people, Azadirachta indica, that is neem, and Osmum santum, that is tulsi, are the sacred plants of India. These plants have been linked to Hindu mythology so that the plants remain safe and surrounding air quality can be maintained. It has been assumed that 1 people is equal to 1000 neem is equal to almost 10 lakh of tulsi as far as oxygen released and carbon dioxide uptake is concerned. Further, plants take carbon dioxide through the process of photosynthesis and return the oxygen into the atmosphere. Hence, the air quality of the system is maintained. Next, talking about the climate regulation. Ecosystems influence climate both locally and globally. As an example, at local scale, land cover modifications affect the temperature and precipitation. At the global scale, ecosystems perform significant function in climate regulation due to having its ability in carbon sequestration and balance of greenhouse gases. Water regulation. The timing and magnitude of runoff, flooding and aquifer recharge are strongly impacted owing to changes in land cover. Natural ecosystems play a substantial role in the hydrological cycle through transpiration and evaporation process and influence water in channeled and stored in the catchment. In general, people observe a slogan, "Van se badal, badal se pani and pani se jeevan" nearby the forested area. It indicates that importance of forest services in regulation of rain for survival of plants, animals and ultimately humans. Next is water purification, waste treatment and pollution control. Wetlands filter both human and animal waste and work as a natural buffer to the neighboring environment. Large number of natural habitats, that is wetlands and grasslands, play significant role in pollution reduction. Microbial activities in the soil as well as in the water break and decompose domestic as well as industrial waste suitable for irrigation and drinking. Erosion control. Soil fertility is essential for food production. Soil erosions cause land degradation and desertification. It is one of the major threats to the loss of soil fertility and productivity. Strong thunder wind in temperate steppe grasslands of China causes loss of topsoil very severely. Vegetative cover through fibrous root system of the plants play substantial role in soil retention. In the hilly areas, such treatment prevents loss of soil fertility as well as landslides. Regulation of human diseases. Changes in ecosystems can directly change the abundance of human pathogens like cholera and can alter the abundance of disease vectors like mosquitoes. Studies have shown that the deforestation in Africa and South America has raised the threat of malaria by increasing the niche of mosquitoes responsible for malarial transmission. An excellent example of human disease regulation by ecosystems is Amazon forest. The natural forest ecosystems of Amazon restrict the entry of undesirable human pathogens brought by migration. Next is the biological control. Ecosystems are important for regulating pest and vector-borne diseases that attack plants, animals and people. Ecosystems regulate pests and diseases through the activities of predators and parasites. Birds, bats, flies, wasps, frogs and fungi all act as natural control. The population of vultures, popularly known as scavengers, is a serious problem for ecosystems as well as for human well-being. Next is the pollination. Insects, birds, bats and wind pollinate many plants. Pollination is essential for the development of fruits, vegetables and seeds. Pollination in lantana, due to the different pollinators, result in different color flowers within the same plant. Changes in the ecosystem attributes by perturbation affects the distribution, abundance and effectiveness of pollinators. Yield of fruits and seeds are directly related with economy. Failure of pollination due to pest and disease hampers the ecosystem services. The last is the storm protection. The presence of mangroves and coral reefs in coastal ecosystems considerably decrease the damage due to hurricanes and large waves. Impact of anthropogenic activities on ecosystem services. We consider that the services provided by ecosystems are granted. We realize their values after their losing. It is more expensive to restore ecosystem services after their loss. Hence, minimization of human activities responsible for ecosystem damage is essential for ecosystem well-being. It has been realized that anthropogenic activities are responsible for changes in the structure and functioning of world's ecosystem, and it would be more severe in the second half of the 20th century. Anthropogenic activities cause species lose and deteriorate quality of abiotic components. Undesirable changes in ecosystem decrease quality of ecosystem services as higher carbon emission in the environment, resulting global warming and flood due to removal of forests. In this slide, we can see how the anthropogenic activities are influencing the human well-being and the ecosystem. The estimates have suggested that 52% of global commercial marine fish stocks are fully exploited and an additional 17% are overexploited. Similarly, 20% of the coral reefs have been destroyed and further 20% are critically degraded. According to Costanza et al., the loss of ecosystem services between 1997 and 2011 due to land use change ranged between $0.2 and $4.3 trillion per year. The degradation of ecosystem services is threatening survival of the world's poorest people. The overexploitation of selective as well as major ecosystem services is root cause of biodiversity loss. It has direct consequences on human well-being because the security of basic resources, that is food, shelter, clothes and clean water, are directly linked to the ecosystem services. Today, we are losing at least 20 hectare forest per day and 1 species per hour from tropical forest alone. For the proper functioning of ecosystem, a minimum level of biodiversity is required, and beyond this threshold, the ecosystem structure and function may collapse. More diverse ecosystems are more resilient and highly able to recover from natural shocks and anthropogenic pressures. Now, due to the awareness created by Convention on Biological Diversity held in Rio de Janeiro in the year 1992 and Millennium Ecosystem Assessment of 2005, global scientific as well as political people are focusing on ecosystem management and conservation. These efforts have helped in the reduction of malnourished people and now improving the human health too. Use of ecosystem services should be balanced. In this slide, we can see that there is a balance between the natural ecosystem and the natural resources. This shows that how the ecosystem can be sustained. Despite the ecological, cultural and economic importance of ecological services, the ecosystems and the biodiversity that support these services are still in their state of degradation and they are losing at a high rate. Still, the significance of ecosystems to human welfare is neither fully evaluated nor recognized. For maintaining the equilibrium between the rates of extraction of natural resources for socio-economic development and conservation of ecosystem services, sustainability could play a bridge between them. The term sustainability is used in the context of sustainable development for referring a model of development that provides current requirements without compromising with future generations. The management and conservation strategies should be comprehensive, negotiable and flexible to empower the local people for managing the ecosystem in their own benefit as well as the benefit of the future generations. To summarize this module, we can say that it is very important for us to understand the concept of ecosystem and human well-being, how these two are related and totally dependent on each other for their survival. It is very important to understand the balanced use of ecosystem and a sustainable use of ecosystem to meet the demand of future generation. Thank you.